He was a wildly successful businessman. His business just happened to be running one of America's biggest heroin empires.
Look, I bought Harlem, I own Harlem, I ran Harlem.
Frank Lucas was born in Grange, North Carolina in 1930. Growing up dirt poor, he got by from an early age the only way he knew how, which usually turned out to be illegal. After seeing his cousin murdered by the KKK, he headed north to Harlem, which people told him was the promised land. Harlem in 1946 was tough, but it also offered opportunities for someone willing to hustle and break the law. When he was 17, he met Bumpy Ellsworth Johnson, the most powerful crime boss in Harlem. Frank spent the next 10 years learning the ways of the Harlem underworld from Bumpy. When Ellsworth Johnson died in 1968, Frank knew it was time for him to take over. Frank's combination of ruthlessness and innovation would help him build a drug empire that Bumpy could never have dreamed of. The key to Frank's unprecedented success was cutting out the middleman. Why pay the mafia for the drugs when you can get on a plane and go to Southeast Asia and score the dope yourself?
I heard about these veterans over there in Vietnam getting high all the time. What they were doing to get high, why they were getting it, and how cheap it was, and that kind of thing. And decided I'd try it out.
When he arrived, Frank saw poppy fields as far as the eye could see. He also saw dollar signs. To transport the dope, he came up with a truly morbid stroke of genius. He began shipping the drugs in the coffins of dead U.S. soldiers. This infamous cadaver connection would be a key facet of Frank's lucrative business. Always wary of city folk, Frank used a group of blood relatives and Southerners known as the Country Boys to move the dope on the street. The nickname sounded quaint, but the business was hardly a mom-and-pop operation. Frank claims his organization was bringing in $1 million a day, pushing his highly addictive blue magic heroin on the streets of Harlem. It was a good thing he made so much because he spent plenty of cash keeping corrupt cops off his back.
Frank Lucas had it knocked because not only did he have the Italian mafia on his side, but he also had the NYPD, an incredibly corrupt organization in the early 1970s, protecting him.
Unfortunately for Frank, one good cop named Richie Roberts would doggedly pursue him until he was taken down. In 1975, Lucas was busted in a raid on his home in suburban Teaneck, New Jersey.
Richie Roberts winds up not only finding out about Lucas's empire and arresting all of Lucas's men, but getting Lucas to spill the beans on all the corrupt cops and even on the Italian mafia guys.
Frank was looking at 70 years of hard time. He turned informant to get a reduced sentence by giving up information on more than 100 cases and only served 5 years of his 70-year sentence. When he was released, he returned to prison on another much smaller drug rap, for which he served 7 years. In 1991, he returned to a completely decimated Harlem. Much of the area's downfall was his own doing. Repentant for how he had led his life, Lucas would look to spend the rest of his life making amends for his past. It's a tall order, but many people, including Richie Roberts, who later became his close friend, defense attorney, and godfather to his daughter, believes he is sincere. He works for his daughter's nonprofit organization called Yellow Brick Roads, which provides a safe haven for children of incarcerated parents.